What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy. And yes, that's my dog barking in the background. He so desperately wants to be a part of this video because the Dallas Cowboys won. They are 1-1 on the season thanks to their 20-17 win over the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday afternoon. We're here to talk about it. All right, we're here to just kind of sit back, relax, and be straight up with you. Just you and me. No graphics, no nothing. Just you and me talking about our Dallas Cowboys for a little while. Because, look, last week was rough. All right, last week was difficult. The Dallas Cowboys were in a bad place. We were all in a bad place. And to be very clear here, everything isn't perfect all of a sudden. The Dallas Cowboys won, and they deserve a lot of credit. They beat the reigning AFC champions. They took the best shot that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and, Zach Taylor could offer, and they won. The Dallas Cowboys shocked us all. They still have problems. All right. The Dallas Cowboys scored on their opening possession of the game. They went down the field, marched up and down, really, and scored a touchdown. Great. They scored on their second possession of the game, in big part thanks to a 46-yard play by Tony Pollard. They went up. It was awesome. But after that, they withered. After that, they took their foot off the gas. After that, the offense wasn't the same. The Cowboys have played 2 full games. That's 8 full quarters, and they have only scored a touchdown in one of them. Granted, they did score the 2 touchdowns. That's part of the story. Part of the story is, again, they took the best shot that Joe Burrow had to offer. The defense is amazing. I would challenge you to name a defense that looks better than the Cowboys right now. Maybe you would say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the team that beat the Cowboys, right? Like, we're learning more. This is what happens as we get through the NFL season. And to be very clear with you, I'm recording this before Monday Night Football, before either game on Monday Night Football. I'm going to tell you right now that the Buffalo Bills and Minnesota Vikings both won. Those are my picks to play in the Super Bowl this season. So it's a great Monday night for me. But we're learning. That's what happens, right? A year ago, as an example, we had no idea just how big the Cowboys win over the Chargers would be. The Chargers, obviously, a lot of people were a little bit high on, but not as high as people have been over the last year or so. But that turned out to be a really big win for the Cowboys. We also thought that the Patriots win was kind of big, and I know that New England was a playoff team, but they weren't exactly who they'd been for all the time prior to that. So you learn more. The teams who we think are great right now may not be. We're still finishing up week 2. And so we look at the Buccaneers game from a week ago, and yes, the Cowboys lost, and yes, they did a lot of embarrassing things. Yes, it was really frustrating. Of course, Dak Prescott was injured, but it is partly fair to say maybe the Tampa defense is pretty legit. You look at the way they played against the New Orleans Saints. As the season goes on, we get more context, we get more information, we learn more. And I think what we're learning about the Dallas Cowboys is that they're not going to go away. They're not going to go away quietly. And I know that that's maybe a bit of a leap, maybe a bit of a reach to say after just 2 games, but the Cowboys had every reason to fold, right? They really did. If we're honest with ourselves, the Cowboys had every reason to fold, to pack it up, to say, look, this is not going great. Dak is hurt now. Michael Gallup still hasn't played. Everybody thinks we're bad. Jalen Tolbert's still inactive. Mike McCarthy, who knows what's going to happen? Sean Payton's doing interviews left and right. I mean, let's just pack up and get ready for 2023. Yet here we sit on Monday, September 19th, 2022, a Victory Polo Monday for the Dallas Cowboys, because football is truly that magical. Football is truly that wonderful, where anything can happen any given Sunday, right? All the cliches, all the tropes. The Cowboys found a way. And now we're sitting here, we're looking at the upcoming schedule for Dallas. Man, they could beat the New York Giants next week on Monday Night Football. They could beat the Washington Commanders. I think they'll split those games if we're being honest with ourselves. But the most important thing is that they are not done. This season is not over. And a big reason for that is the superstars, right? The Michah Parsonses of the world. As long as the Dallas Cowboys have Michah Parsons, they're in games, right? Like, I don't know of a way that they are not going to be in a game if Michah Parsons is playing for them defensively, offensively. If he wants to kick, I know he made a petition to be the new fullback. Luke Gifford took over those duties on Tony Pollard's touchdown run. I mean, he raises the floor of this team. Trayvon Diggs had maybe the best tackle of his career on the 3rd down stop on Tyler Boyd. Nobody's talking about that. You know why nobody's talking about that? Because when Trayvon Diggs is caught in a bad moment or somebody beats him, it's big world earth-shattering news by every Eagles fan, both sides of the Mississippi. But Trayvon Diggs has a good game. Nobody cares, right? And this is a weird place. I don't know that I would consider the Cowboys an underdog by any means, because a lot of people want to give them credit, right? A lot of people, and I think there is a fair amount of credit to give them, but a lot of people want to say, look, the Cowboys managed to get this win with Cooper Rush and their 3rd left guard option, and, Noah Brown is their featured primary receiver, basically. No offense to CeeDee Lamb. That's true. They did manage to do those things, but they dug that hole, right? The Cowboys made this situation complicated for themselves. And right now, they are making lemonade. That's what I said on our postgame show. That's what I'll say again right now. They are making lemonade. And I think what's important to note is the more difficult 2 weeks are behind us. And that's where I think if you're trying to feel positive, if you want to look for the silver lining, it is never all or not, right? It's never they're going to win the Super Bowl or they're the worst team in the NFL. They looked like the worst team in the NFL last week, right? I had them 32nd in my power rankings at blogoftheboys.com. I can promise you on Tuesday morning when that article comes out, they will not be 32nd. Make sure to read that. Make sure to check out everything at Blog of the Boys. But look at the quarterbacks. This is a quarterback league. This is a quarterback game. This is all about the opposing quarterbacks that you play. Now, granted, last year the Cowboys lost to some suspect quarterbacks, right? They lost to Teddy Bridgewater. They lost to Derek Carr. They beat Justin Herbert, right? But this is generally a quarterback-driven league, a quarterback-driven game. The Cowboys just took on Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. You're talking about two of the last four Super Bowl quarterbacks, one of whom happened to win the Super Bowl in Tom Brady. He also happens to be the greatest of all time. That was very difficult, right? Like if I asked you or anybody else to put together a ranking of quarterbacks in today's NFL, there's a good chance that the Cowboys just played two of your top five, two of your top six. I don't know. I mean, we're not here to put together a ranking, but you get the point. Those are two of the very best quarterbacks in the National Football League. Let's look now through the bye, up to the bye, rather. All right, because after the bye, it's going to get tough. All right, but we're looking at this season in chunks right now, and I really believe that these first two games were a chunk, and now we're entering a bigger chunk, right? This is the next set of quarterbacks the Cowboys are going to play. We're going to go in order here, right? Next Monday night against the New York Giants, Daniel Jones. Not great. After that, Carson Wentz. I do think Washington's playing well. I do think we got to give their offense some respect. I do think the Indianapolis Colts right now wish they had Carson Wentz instead of Matt Ryan. But Carson Wentz under pressure, Carson Wentz with Michah Parsons in his face, with Dante Fowler in his face, with Dorrance Armstrong on his face. I like those odds. So we got Daniel Jones. We got Carson Wentz. After that, Matthew Stafford. I know he won the Super Bowl last year, but the Rams don't scare me. The Rams haven't impressed me. I know they beat the Falcons. They almost lost. They almost 28-3 themselves against the Atlanta Falcons. If you blow a 28-3 lead against the Atlanta Falcons, I think the universe implodes, and the Rams almost did that. So you got Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz, Matthew Stafford. After that, Jalen Hurts. Now, we'll see. Like I said, I have not seen Monday Night Football at the time of this video's recording, at the time that this video is releasing, but odds are maybe you have seen it. But either way, we obviously have questions as a football society about Jalen Hurts and how great of a passer he is. We know that he can run the ball, but can Philadelphia do that over and over and over again every single week? So you got Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Justin Fields. Those are the next 6 quarterbacks who the Dallas Cowboys play. Forget the teams for a second. Just look at the quarterbacks. We talked at the beginning of this video about Michah Parsons, how special he is, how as long as he's playing, the Dallas Cowboys have a chance. So if it's Michah Parsons, the queen on the board, against any of those proverbial kings that he has to attack, right? Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Justin Fields. I like Michah Parsons in every single one of those matchups. I like Michah Parsons really in any matchup. I have a difficult time coming up with a quarterback in the NFL outside of maybe Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, who I do not like Michah Parsons as the favorite in that particular matchup, right? Because those are very, very talented quarterbacks. Micah Parsons against Tom Brady, he had his way, 2 sacks. Micah Parsons against Joe Burrow, he had his way, 2 sacks. Again, the Cowboys only won one of those games, but you get what I'm saying. Micah Parsons by himself effectively, let alone the fact that he has a bunch of friends on Dan Quinn's defense. Micah Parsons against Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Justin Fields. I'm not saying the Cowboys are about to rip off 6 more wins in a row on top of the Bengals win, but what I am saying is I like those odds. Sunday proved to us that Micah Parsons can keep his foot on the gas even if Kellen Moore won't on the offensive side of the ball. And if Dak Prescott can come back, when Michael Gallup comes back, when James Washington comes back, when Jason Peters is playing for this team, when Connor McGovern is available, the arrow is pointing up. The arrow is pointing up as far as the Dallas Cowboys are concerned. And that's really all I wanted to say here on this Victory Polo Monday. I hope you had a great day. My name is RJ Ochoa. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at RJ Ochoa. You can follow me on TikTok at RJ.Ochoa. Again, congratulations to the Buffalo Bills and Minnesota Vikings for getting the big wins on Monday night. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. We will, of course, have a lot more for you here on the Block and the Boys YouTube channel on Tuesday. Our roundtable coming up Tuesday night. So make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you then. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.